Good morning to you all. So this is Mr. Rao. As a part of the continuation of the human digestive system, in today's session, I would like to explain in detail the anatomy of your small intestine as well as the large intestine also. In our previous class, we detailedly studied about few of the parts related to our human digestive system. All these parts includes the mouth, that followed by the pharynx, and that followed by the esophagus. Then the esophagus posteriorly it open into a muscular sac-like structure known as the stomach. About all the here four important parts of your digestive system. In the previous class I explained in a detailed way. Now let us continue the here remaining parts of your digestive system. Coming to your stomach, at its posterior end, it open into here a part which we call it as the small intestine, right? The small intestine is the part that you can happen to see. Whereas the small intestine, when you check out, it has got the three important regions. And that too, when you see the small intestine, it is a long coiled tube. And the one more interesting thing regarding the small intestine, it is actually here the largest part of your digestive system, right? So this small intestine has got the three regions. Then coming to the three regions of your small intestine, it includes, one is here the duodenum, right? If you take this small intestine as a part of your digestive system, it consists of here the first part, we call it as the duodenum. Whereas the second part of this one, it includes here the jejunum is the second part or the middle part of your small intestine. This is the second as well as the middle part of your small intestine. Whereas the third part of this one, when you see, it is known as the ileum, is the third part. This is the ileum, is the third part of your small intestine. And this ileum has the connection with the large intestine at a blind sac known as the cecum. Even I do tell you all those points in detail. Coming to here one by one, when you see the first portion, that is the duodenum, actually it is a C-shaped here the structure of your small intestine. But the point is, this is a point made a modification in your NCERT textbook. But earlier, when you studied in your schooling and even in the old books, when you see the duodenum is the U-shaped structure. But there is a bit ambiguity in this regard. Actually, the duodenum is present in a alphabet letter C. Hence, the change is made in your NCERT books and even the books that are all modified. So, it should be here, must be particular. The duodenum is a C-shaped structure in your small intestine. And that too, when you see this duodenum, it receives hepatopancreatic duct here of the two important glands that are nothing but the liver as well as the pancreas. If you see this structure, actually, if you feel this is as the stomach, right? And the stomach at its posterior end, as I said, it opens into a C-shaped structure which we call it as the duodenum. So, when I explained here the structure of the stomach, I said the posterior part of the stomach is actually known as pyloric stomach. This pyloric stomach is opens into here this alphabet letter C-shaped structure known as a duodenum. And thing is, at this place we can happen to see here a muscular circular sphincter is present. That sphincter is known as the pyloric sphincter. Then what is the role of this pyloric sphincter? Actually, the food is gets stored within your stomach for about 4 to 5 hours. Then the digestion of the food some extent is carried out within the stomach. Afterwards, here the chyme that is present in your stomach is released into this duodenum through this pyloric sphincter. So the pyloric sphincter regulates the flow of the food or the chyme into the duodenum. Later on, what I said just now, into this duodenum, an important duct is present that what we call is here hepatopancreatic duct. Then what does that mean? There we have the biggest gland in your digestive system. This is nothing but your liver. From the liver, actually a duct it arises, and this duct is known as a bile duct. Meanwhile, there we have a leaf-like another important gland also, and that gland is known as the pancreatic gland, that you know very well. But when you see this pancreatic gland, it also has got a duct. But the point is here, this bile duct as well as the pancreatic duct, both of the ducts are combined together and they form a common duct. Clear? And this common duct is open into the duodenum. That is what I mentioned in the second point of the duodenum. So duodenum, it receives hepatopancreatic duct. Hepato represents liver, pancreas represents the pancreas. These two combining together forming a single duct, and this duct all together is known as hepatopancreatic duct. I hope you got it, what the hepatopancreatic duct is. Through this duct, actually the pancreatic juice is released into the duodenum, and through the same duct, here the bile that is secreted by your liver is also released into your duodenum, right? So that is actually the important part related to your duodenum. Thereafter, the maximum digestion of your food material, it takes place in your duodenum itself, because it receives actually partially digested food present in your stomach. Whereas most of the digestive glands are present within the pancreas, they are also received here. And it is also actually a part of your small intestine. It is the beginning part of your small intestine, so that there also it releases certain kind of enzymes. So the maximum number of enzymes are get released into this part, so that the maximum digestion of food takes place in your duodenum. That you have to remember, important point, right? Right. Whereas coming to the second important part of the small intestine is nothing but the jejunum. Let us see about this jejunum part in a detailed way. I hope that you got the detailed information regarding the duodenum. Right. Coming to the duodenum is the jejunum is actually a long coiled tube which is a middle part of your small intestine and continuation of your duodenum. It is actually a long as well as the coiled portion. That too, it is the middle part of the small intestine. Clear? Is one important thing. Right. Then what is the role of this duodenum? See here, jejunum. The maximum absorption of the digested food material takes place within the jejunum itself. This is an important part. The maximum absorption of food it takes place in your jejunum itself, which is the middle portion and long coiled portion. Clear? Right. Thereafter, coming to the third part is ileum. Then this jejunum at its posterior side opens into the ileum. At its anterior side or proximal end, it has got the duodenum. Clear? Right. Coming to the ileum, in this case, it is highly coiled structure. Highly coiled structure that ileum is. Whereas another important point related to this, the completion of the digestion takes place within this ileum itself. So there will be an important bit in this regard, where the completion of the digestion it takes place, or digestion mechanism is get completed in which part of your digestive system. Generally, options if you have got the small intestine among all, then the small intestine is actually the answer for that. And by the food it reaches to the ileum, then the digestion of the food will be get complete. No digestion will be taken place in your large intestine. It's a very important point that you need to remember. Clear? So this is all about here the ileum. This is totally here about your small intestine. Right. Coming to the next one. This small intestine is a structure which opens into the next part of your digestive system. I hope you can guess it easily. Nothing but your large